Hi, hello, good morning to all of you. Welcome to Ramalakshmi Knowledge Zone. Today we are going to talk about chemistry lesson 5 states of matter for 11th class CBSE portion. This is the second term portion, children, and actually most of the colleges they have started thermodynamics, but I am taking right from the first only, that is lesson 5 I am starting, because this is little familiar with the uh, covalent bonds and dipole forces and all, which you have already studied in the previous chapters, and so that you will be familiar. Suppose if I start thermodynamics first and then this, there are chances of forgetting certain basic information about this. Therefore first I am starting this only. So friends, after this lesson you will be able to explain the existence of different states of matter in terms of their balance between intermolecular forces and thermal energy, and explain the laws governing the behavior of ideal gases, and apply gas laws in various real life situations. So how gas laws apply? Gas laws like Boyle's law and all, and the different behavior of gases, various behaviors of gases and all. So when I talk about the introduction to this matter, we are going to talk about the properties related to a single particle of matter, uh, like atomic size, ionization energy, electronic charge density, molecular shape and polarity. And most of the observable characters in this are chemical systems with which we are familiar, representing bulk properties of matter, like properties associated with the collection of large number of atoms, ions or molecules. Here we have to understand in this lesson that it is dealing with van der Waals forces, and we are talking about dipole-dipole attractions, London forces or dispersion. What is intermolecular force of that we will talk anyhow. And what is atomic size? Atomic size is nothing but the number of electrons present in a particular element or atom. Depending upon it, its atomic size is determined. Ionization energy is nothing but gaining or losing of electrons by the element is ionization energy. Next, electronic charge density. Electronic charge density means depending upon the number of electrons gained or lost, and also the protons and neutrons present in the nucleus. Next, molecular shapes. You have different molecular shapes that I could show you. They are in different ways, like how is a molecule presented actually, and polarity. See, this is ionization energy. For example, I am showing because we already studied this in the previous chapters. This is the ionization energy. How means the electron outermost orbit, whatever is present here, it is tending to either receive other electron or to move away from this orbit. And if it is going to mix with other atom, it is then the particular atom gains energy. It is gaining electron from other place, it is going to get negative, and that is it is going to have reduction process, and this is polarity. Now a molecule of a liquid does not boil but bulk boils. Here when we are talking about example of any matter, states of matter, the best example is water, because water exists in all three states of matter. So solid, liquid as well as water vapor, that is gaseous state. Here we have to understand that physical properties of any states of matter, if you take, do not change with the change in the states of matter. But they change with the states of matter, but chemical composition of the state, the element won't change with the state, the change in the states of matter. Like if you take water, water exists in form of ice, then also it is H2O only. Water exists in the form of water vapor, then also it is H2O only. So there is no question of water changing its chemical composition. Okay, from H2O to H2O2 or O3, no, not like that. So all the three states of water depend on energies of molecule. Only thing is the characteristics of these three states of matter in physical form depend upon the energies of the molecules that are carrying. In solid state the energy is different, in liquid state energy is different, and in gaseous state again energy is different. So it all depends. In other substances also it is the same way. Now coming to the chemical properties, they do not change with the physical state. But rate of chemical reactions do depend upon the physical state. Means what? Chemical reaction when it is taking place, if it is ice, how it is going to react with other elements. If it is in steam form, how it is going to react with other forms is a question. So rate of chemical reaction changes, but its chemical property of that particular element won't change. Many times in calculations while dealing with data of experiments, we require a knowledge of the state of the matter. So chemists should know the physical laws before they are going to have the behavior of gases. Anytime we have to understand that. So we learn more about these three physical states of matter, particularly liquid or gaseous states in the present lesson or the chapter, because generally we don't go with the solids, but in this particular lesson we should know especially the liquids and gaseous state, because we are reading about the forces between the elements, that is the intermolecular forces between the atoms. So the molecular interactions and effect of thermal energy on the motion of particles, because a balance between these determines the states of substance. So the balance between the particles, intermolecular interactions will tell you the determines, that is decides the states of a substance, which state it is in and which state it can be in. That is also very important. And what are intermolecular forces? They are the forces of attraction and repulsion, both. Intermolecular force, it doesn't mean that they are only attracting, they are repelling each other also in between the molecules and atoms. Same is happening with the planets also, children. We have to understand that. And this particular intermolecular force, it does not include the electrostatic forces, which are existing between two oppositely charged ions. That is, suppose if two negatively charged ion and positively charged ion are attracting each other, that is electrostatic force. Definitely, as per the law, two opposite charges, two opposite poles attract each other is common. So this intermolecular force is what? Either attraction or repulsion, both. But here when two oppositely charged molecules are attracting, it is only becoming attraction, not repulsion. See, this is the van der Waals interaction between two neon atoms. Okay, we are able to understand. And covalent bond in chemistry, as I told you, the intermolecular force doesn't apply to covalent bond formation. The binding arises from electrostatic attraction of their nuclear for the same elements. Okay, as I told you that one electron is gained or sacrificed. So this won't have the theory or the applicability of the intermolecular forces. And general properties also you have studied, covalent bond general properties. And it mostly, the solid covalent compounds have soft structures like graphite. Attractive intermolecular forces are known as van der Waals forces. Why it is named as van der Waals forces is nothing but Johannes van der Waals, a Dutch scientist, had experimented on this. And he explained the deviation of real gases from the ideal behavior through these forces. So van der Waals forces vary considerably in magnitude and include dispersion forces or London forces. We are going to read these about the differences between dipole forces and all in the coming slides also, don't worry. And a particularly strong type of dipole attraction is hydrogen bonding. Why? Because hydrogen bonding can mix only with few elements. It can participate in few elements. That is why hydrogen bond is a separate bond actually. It has very few elements um, which can participate in the hydrogen bond formation. So that is why hydrogen bond is a separate bonding. Therefore, it is a strong type of dipole interaction. This is van der Waals forces and London forces. This is what we are going to talk. The weakest intermolecular force, and it consists of dipole forces and dispersion forces. Now, dipole forces are attractive forces between molecules with permanent dipole moments. If at all there should be a dipole force, the force should have the attraction with permanent dipole moment. So, London dispersion forces occur when a positively charged nucleus of an atom attracts the electron cloud of another atom. Now, I will show you here. Suppose if I am drawing one atom and one more. Suppose if it is the nucleus is in the middle. Okay, and I am filling the entire, let me see, entire this one and this also. Then there is no question of the electron cloud is symmetrically formed. Okay, but you have to understand that, sorry, here you have to understand that there is no question of intermolecular force. Now suppose if what am I telling here, one more example if you take, here he is telling London dispersion forces occur with a positively charged nucleus. Now I will show you. I am drawing another atom like this and one more here. Students, please understand that and now here the nucleus is there and here the nucleus is there. Okay, nucleus is there. Now this is the electron cloud. And this electron cloud here. Okay, sorry. One second. I am drawing only within this so that you will understand. Otherwise, you may understand it in a different manner. So this is the electronic cloud formation. Now, so what is happening here? this electronic cloud, okay, I am pointing it out. This electronic cloud, this positively charged nucleus is attracting the electronic cloud of this. That is nothing but London dispersion force. Okay, that is why they are having a higher bond strength. They are having higher bond strength. And dipole forces, they require permanent dipoles. They should exist because they occur when there is an unequal sharing of electrons between the atoms per dipole. And London dispersion forces need instantaneous dipoles. It is a reverse situation where it is inversely proportional to the strength. See here, the strength of dipole moment of a molecule is proportional to the strength of dipole-dipole force. But in London dispersion forces, it is reversed. How it is? Because you see the nucleus, that is the distance between this is 1 by r to the power 6, where r is the distance between two particles. That you have to understand. If it is, say, this one, the distance is same. Radius, r is nothing but radius. But here it is different. That is why it is 1 by r to the power 6. These forces are important only for shorter distances, and their magnitude depends on the polarizability of a particle. Okay, and with this I think I have completed. There are so many things which we are going to read in next episode. Thank you very much. Children, children or students or friends, whatever it is, I am trying to explain this lesson, to my best. So if you have not understood also, you can keep a comment in the chat box, in the comment box, and I will take it and I will try to improvise on the lesson. Thank you very much.